Okay, welcome back to Shooting It Straight for another totally unedited tabletop video. I know, but I will eventually edit my videos, and as soon as I can arrange for my backyard mini range to be rebuilt, we'll do some actual shooting out there. A storm came through several days ago and tore down my backstop completely, and you know, I'm physically disabled, so I'm going to need some assistance in repairing that backstop. But when I do, we'll go back there and have a few demonstrations back there. Alright, this video is shooting with both eyes open. Now, we've all heard it a million times. Some people say that we should learn to shoot with both eyes open. Other people say it doesn't really matter. So let's examine that today. The popular reason given for keeping both eyes open when shooting is always the same thing in about every video that I've ever seen on the topic. It gives you a wider field of vision so you can see other potential threats while looking at your threat. And that's true to an extent, because you will lose a lot of vision by closing an eye, and closing an eye will distort depth and distance perception. However, when a person is coming at you to kill you, you will focus on that attacker, not the other people around you and not the other people around him. You'll focus on that attacker. And sometimes you'll hear this called tunnel vision. And it is a real thing. Ask me how I know that. Now, I've watched a lot of videos relating to this shooting with both eyes open topic. And really what has always amazed me is how every instructor seems to think that you will actually have a choice in the matter. Well, I'm about to tell you a fact that apparently no one else knows. In cases of sudden attacks at fairly close distances, our natural survival instincts kick in. Both of our eyes, both of them, will instantly go into Beetlejuice mode and pop open as big as lemons. And our pupils will dilate instantly. Now this happens because our brain is trying to take in and process as much information as possible and as quickly as possible. Also, our natural instinctual response to a perceived deadly threat is to keep our eyes on that threat. And believe me, that's exactly what you'll do. Damn. In a sudden, close-range attack situation, you will not have any other choice except to shoot with both eyes open, whether you want to or not. You will not be able to close an eye, even if you tried. Now, our natural instinctual defense mechanisms will not let you close an eye and aim. This is why you, as a concealed carrier, must practice shooting with both eyes open. Now, at further distances, where the threat is not quite as immediate, you may indeed be able to close an eye for a traditional aimed shot, but not at close self-defense distances. Alright, so now we've established why concealed carriers need to learn shooting with both eyes open. So let's discuss how to practice it. Okay. Whenever we shoot using the sights of our gun, we shoot using one of two different sighting methods. Now, completely empty. Alright. Some of us use what is called a front sight focus method. In other words, where the front sight is clear, because you're focusing on the front sight, which will put the target out of focus. Alright. The target will be fuzzy or hazy or cloudy, but your front sight will be sharp and clear. Still others use the opposite, which is threat-focused method, where the focus is on the threat itself out here and not on the front sight or the sights. Now the sights are still visible and you are using them, but the sights are not in focus. You're not focusing here, you're focusing out there. So your sights are fuzzy, the suspect or bad guy is clear, right? Now both methods work, so it really doesn't matter which one you use. Although the front sight focus method is more accurate, I've always practiced the threat focused method because in my personal experiences when suddenly faced with deadly force, I believe it will be a natural tendency to focus on the threat, especially if that threat is very close or coming at us, right? Additionally, if you're focused on the front sight, you won't be able to see furtive movements from the hands of the bad guy because it's going to be too blurry because your focus is on the front sight and not on him. So if he goes into his pocket for something, you won't see that. Now this is particularly true if you're in a situation where you have to hold that suspect at gunpoint for whatever reason. Alright? So, let's try a little experiment. And we'll look at a common issue that most people have when shooting with both eyes open. And that is the double image problem. Now, while sitting there in your living room, just look at the clock across the wall from you. Now, with both eyes open, while looking at that clock, extend your arm out and cover the clock with your thumb, with both eyes open. Alright? While looking directly at the clock, you're seeing two images of your thumb, right? Because the clock is in focus. Your thumb is not. You're seeing two images of your thumb, right? Double image. Alright, now, instead, switch that focus to your thumbnail. Alright, switch it from the clock to the thumbnail. Now you're seeing double images of the clock, right? Well, it works the same way with pistol sights on a target. Either you'll have double images of the target itself, or you'll have double images of the sights, depending on which one you focus on. This is because our eyes cannot focus on two things at once. Now, the ultimate goal is to have your dominant eye quickly pick out the correct image of the two images. To do this, we need to strengthen our dominant eye, and there are ways in which to do this. Chapstick. And this time it's not for kinky bedroom stuff. Put it on your shooting glasses, okay? Apply it on the non-dominant lens. For me it would be this side. Just heavily coat it, alright, on the non-dominant lens. Alright, get it as thick as you can. Block that vision out is what you're trying to do here. Okay? Alright. Now put the shooting glasses on with that lens blocked out. And repeat that same exercise. Now you can grab your gun and dry practice this in your room at home, or you can do it on the live range while wearing these glasses. Lessen the amount of chapstick incrementally each weekend or two until eventually it's no longer needed, because your strength in your dominant eye will build up to the point to where it can pick it out quickly and you won't need to do that anymore. Now, and I kind of hesitate to get into this because it's an entirely different video, but if that doesn't work for you, if that procedure doesn't work for you, you can try to change your shooting technique. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, basically, hold the gun in close to your nose. Okay, this is pretty much where the center axis relock system comes into play, and you might hear that termed as the CAR system. Alright, generally the CAR system is taught to military spec ops and SWAT members of law enforcement. It is primarily a close quarters combat shooting method. With the gun is held just about 12 inches in front of your nose. Okay, with it held so close to your face in that method, the double vision issue immediately vanishes. You can still look at your threat and focus on your threat, and that front sight will stand out like a beacon. Okay, it is virtually impossible not to see that front sight. Now, because you're in a sharply bladed stance with this technique, you're just about sideways, your sights will naturally fall in line with your non-dominant eye. Now, that's not a concern because the CAR system is ambiocular. In other words, it doesn't matter which eye is dominant in that system. It's generally used for close range shooting, such as in self-defensive situations or room clearing situations, although it can be used very well out to distances of well beyond 30 feet if practiced. I have plans already in the works for a video exclusively dedicated to that CAR system. Watch for that. So shooting with both eyes open is something you will do in a defensive deadly encounter. So I suggest that you train that way. I hope this video helped answer some questions you may have had regarding the topic of shooting with both eyes open, and I hope I was able to pass on some useful tips to you. So thanks for watching. I'm Antonius, and I'm shooting it straight, up close and personal. Ciao.